There might be times when you want to get your job data from the dashboard into a third-party spreadsheet program like Excel, OpenOffice Calc, or Google Sheets. There can be many reasons to do this. For example, maybe you're doing some analysis on how many jobs you've done for a certain client, or how many jobs you've done of a certain type. These are great use cases for getting data into a spreadsheet program. So how do you actually go about doing this? Well, there's a couple of ways, and I'll show you each one. First one is to actually drag select. You might not know you can do this, but you can drag select the data from here. So whichever fields you want to copy, right click and copy, and then you simply paste from your clipboard into that spreadsheet program. I'm not going to do that here because it can create some odd results, and that's why I'm not going to do it. In this case, it probably will because we've got an address. It has some commas in, so if you know anything about comma separated values, this can potentially cause some issues. So that's one option, but I would suggest using the next option, which is a bit more foolproof. So this next option is to not select anything. I'm just going to clear this selection by changing the filter. And you can see nothing is currently selected there. But what we can do is we can right click and export, and then export to Excel. So don't worry if you don't actually have Excel. It's creating an xlsx file, but you can open that in other software too. So I'm going to open this up. So this is the spreadsheet file that's being created. I'm not actually using Excel, I'm using something else to open this up, but that's no problem. And you can see here what's great about this is we have the headers, so you have a bit of context now as to what's going on. And then each row on the jobs list has become a row on the spreadsheet. So this is the job ID you can see here, and we have various information about the job. If I scroll further along, you can see we have all the way to the UPRN, which is the last field. So that's great, but what if you only need some of the jobs, not all of the jobs? Well, the export to Excel feature only actually exports what's visible. So in that last output, in that last spreadsheet that I showed you there was only a handful of rows. You can see there's 14 results here on the current filter in the dashboard because I'm only showing the incomplete jobs. Therefore, only 14 results were exported, plus that extra row for the header. So there would have been 15 rows in total. I'm going to apply another filter now. I'm going to say only show me the urgent jobs. In other words, jobs with an urgent tag. You can see here there is just one which matches this. There's only one incomplete urgent job. So now if I right click and export to Excel, there should only be one row on the file. So as expected, there is just a single data row now. It's this one here, plus that additional header row, which gives you some context. So that's the process you want to follow to export the jobs list. Simply add your filter to make sure you've got the result shown that you need, and then use that right click export to Excel function.